Howdy brothers and sisters out there in YouTube land. This here is Grateful Panic, and I've got another video for you guys today. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Ganzo FH31. And before we get into that, let's go ahead and get this panic dump out of the way and let you guys take a little look at what I was carrying today. And today in my pocket I had this guy right here. And I also had the GEC number 85 bullet end jack and my trusty pen, and I carried both of those in the awesome divided organizer slip that my good friend and Grateful Panic family member Doc, brother Eric Holiday, sent me. And also I had the minimalist wallet from Doc as well. And also in my pocket I carried the Olight S Mini baton. And on my belt I had the Buck 110 lightweight and the Bark River Knives ultralight bushcrafter. And as far as what I'm drinking on, today I'm drinking on a little bit of the Sierra Nevada Brute IPA. And it's not a overly flavorful IPA, but it is a very tasty IPA. It's a extra dry, so it's not like real fruity or anything, but it's got some good flavor to it. And that leads us right up into the nitty-gritty. And before we get to the meat and taters of this guy, let's go ahead and get the boring stuff out of the way and get you guys some measurements, materials, and a weight. And what we're looking at is a closed length of 4.4 inches. We've got an overall length of 7.78 inches. We've got a blade length of 3.38 inches. If you bear with me just a second, if I can find the handy dandy tape measure, I'll get you guys a cutting edge length. I don't know why I can never have that thing ready when I need it, but I always forget it. And it's looking like we got a cutting edge of right at 3 1/16 inches. Material, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and see if we can't get this scale a-working. And it is. Let's see if we can't get a weight for you guys. And we're looking at right at 4 ounces. And for our good friends across the pond, we're looking at 114 grams. So, yeah, definitely not a super heavy carry. I mean, it's not super light, but it's definitely not super heavy. It's a very comfortable carry, and it's one of those guys where you just kind of forget that it's in your pocket. Material-wise, we're looking at some G10, nice textured G10 handle scales. We got a really nice G10 backspacer here with your lanyard holes, and that's I mean, it's cool looking, but it's just kind of odd. I'm guessing this one's just for show, and the back one here is for your actual lanyard. We got stainless steel hardware and some blue anodized pivot hardware, and this is pretty cool. We've got a stainless steel, I guess, spacer or whatever to cover the pocket clip holes on this side if you're carrying it right-handed. Nice stainless steel deep carry pocket clip, and I mean, it's it's a true deep carry clip. You've just got that little tip of the handle sticking out when you carry it, so it's definitely a nice deep carry clip. This is a manual flipper with some great action, I might add. We've got a D2 blade steel in a satin finish, and it's a nice Warncliffe blade shape with a really killer swedge right here. I'm digging that swedge right here on, I guess you would call it the nose of the blade, maybe. You got the Ganzo Firebird logo right here on this side. On the reverse side, I know you can't see it, you've got Firebird knife made by Ganzo. You've got the model number FH31, and then the blade steel D2. And I'm digging this satin finish, which on the swedge, I mean, it's still a satin finish, but it's almost it's a pretty polished satin finish. And I'm digging the way that the grind marks go in this finish. You know, you've got on the bevel here, you've got the grind marks going vertically. On the flats, you got them going horizontally, and then on this swedge here, you got them kind of going at an angle. This blade is a flat grind, a high flat grind. You don't have a whole lot of flat here, but just enough to make it attractive. And from what I've noticed with this guy, it's a really, really good slicer. It still has the factory edge on it and some schmutz right here on the tip. And I have not sharpened it. I have sharpened the FH11, and it took an edge really, really well, and it's still holding that same edge. So, and I know that the FH11 did test positive as D2 steel when David from Blade Banner had it tested, which leads me to believe that all of the knives that Ganzo advertises as D2 blade steel are going to be D2 blade steel. And also, it tested at a Rockwell hardness of 61, which is pretty stinking hard. And I'm hoping that it's not so hard that that it's chippy, which like I said, I sharpened the FH11, and it has not shown any signs of chippiness. It seems to be a very sturdy blade steel. So I'm hoping that it continues to be that way, and that all their D2 blades continue to be that way. And ergonomics wise, this is it's a very comfortable knife in hand. You got a little bit of jimping right here on the back of the handle, which it's not really functional. I think it's more for looks, but you know, you don't really need that jimping. The ergonomics are so good that, you know, where your thumb lies, it doesn't really slip around when you're really digging in. And it's got this, and I'm gonna call it a dedicated forward choil. It's kind of an odd choil because, I mean, your finger fits in there, but it's kind of shallow, and it's right there on the rear of the cutting edge. And I've used it, and I mean, I've used it, you know, just kind of without thinking, and I haven't run into any problems. But it's kind of one of those choils where I feel like you kind of want to be careful. I don't think you'll run into any problems, but you know, I don't want to be the guy that says, hey, you know, just go all willy-nilly with that choil, and then you end up getting cut. So if you do end up getting this knife and you know, you choke up on it, you know, just be mindful of where your finger is. Like I said, I haven't had any problems. I haven't come anywhere close to getting cut. So I think it is a very, very functional forward choil. So I'm going to go with this is a dedicated forward choil on this guy. The action is pretty daggum sweet. And it works best with the push button style of opening on this flipper tab. The light switch, I mean, it works good. It doesn't have that satisfying kick that it has with the push button style. But in either style, it works absolutely great. The only concern I have and it's not a big thing at all. Like it doesn't take away from this knife at all. It's just kind of an oddity. You can't use that, kind of thumb stop method and then shake it down, because where the flipper tab hits your thumb, the detent ball hasn't quite engaged with the lock bar, so it kind of sits there. So what I've noticed is when you disengage the lock bar, you kind of have to reach up and pull that flipper tab down a little bit, and then you can shake it down. But like I said, the action is absolutely phenomenal, and this lighting is really getting on my nerves. Casting a lot of shadows. There we go. 11 minutes in, and I finally adjust the lighting. But yeah, overall, I mean, this is an absolutely phenomenal knife, especially for the price. I think I paid right at $25 for this guy, and with the materials that you're getting, the stainless steel liners, and these liners are not milled out, they're not skeletonized, but it still comes in at 4 ounces. So to me, that's not really a big deal. If they did, it might have cut down, a couple of tenths of an ounce. So not a big deal at all. And like I said, ergonomically, it's very, very comfortable. It's not a huge knife, but I've got pretty big hands there, and I've still got a little bit hanging over. The pocket clip on this one, it really doesn't create any hot spots. Maybe if you're really, really getting down on it, this rise right here might dig in a little bit, but I haven't noticed anything so far. So for all intents and purposes, this guy is very, very comfortable in hand. And like I said, the lack of jimping, I mean, it's got a little bit right there, but it's not really functional. The lack of jimping is not an issue at all, because the way your thumb falls when this guy is you got a full grip on it, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's got this little, there's like an angle where the spine right here kind of comes down, it terminates, and then it goes back up a little bit, and that kind of gives your thumb a place to rest. So jimping is really not necessary on this knife. And that Warncliffe blade shape, to me, is very, very attractive. To me, that's just the aesthetics of this knife are very, very pleasing. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous knife. I like that they did the blue anodizing here on the pivot hardware to kind of give it a little pizzazz. And to me, it goes really good with this green G10. So all in all, I think this is a really, really killer knife, especially for the price. And actually, I could probably see myself paying $25 more for this knife. I could see this being a $50 knife, no problem. So definitely for $25, it's a heck of a deal. And with that being said, guys, this knife right here definitely gets the Grateful Panic seal of approval. And this is, like I mentioned before in the kind of first look video that I did on these guys, this is the first of a series of the ExtravaGanzo series, and basically I'm gonna do a review on the full lineup of all of Ganzo's new D2 knives, and the FH11 and FH13, I'm gonna do those together because there's really not enough difference in those knives to warrant doing a separate video. So those guys are going to be done together. But what I want you guys to do as a little bit of a favor is when you're watching these videos, keep in mind which of these Ganzo knives is your favorite. And in the last video, when I do the 11 and 13, I'm going to ask you to comment which of these 4 knives is your favorite, and that knife, whichever knife gets the most votes, that knife is going to be in our 300 subscriber thank you giveaway. And there's going to be other things in the giveaway as well, but this is going to the Ganzo knife is going to be the main knife item in the giveaway. And when you guys whenever we figure out which is the most popular and which is going to be the knife, I'll order it and get you guys a new unused knife in. I'm not going to give you one that I've been fiddling with. So yeah, just keep in mind which one is your favorite, and like I said on the last video, in the comments, just shoot me a vote on which one you would like to have in the 300 subscriber thank you giveaway. So with that being said, guys, like I said, this definitely gets the Grateful Panic seal of approval, which, as we all know, is 1 3/4 thumbs up. And that pretty much does it for this knife. And I thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for your subscriptions and comments and likes, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And with that being said, guys, this is Grateful Panic signing off. And remember, guys, stay alert, stay alive, and hey, how about do something nice for somebody today? Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.